Hello and welcome to this bonus episode of the Flip Flop Family podcast. I'm Xylene and this episode is all about inspiration. It's time to think about who inspires you, and I want to tell you who inspires me. It's got to be Benjamin, my husband. So I guess this episode is a tribute to him because without him I would not be doing this. I started out sort of looking into my creative side, I would say, about 20 years ago when I met him. I always loved talking, and the idea of acting or being on TV was a dream, but not something that I ever thought could be achievable. But when I met Benjamin, I was thrown into this world, this amazing creative world, and he was already a radio DJ on a community radio station. And he was kind of in circles with people who made music. He also makes music and a lyricist, a very creative person. And all his circles seem to be very creative as well. As I said, it was something that I wanted but never thought that I could achieve. It wasn't that I thought I couldn't do it. It was more, if I'm being brutally honest, I didn't allow myself to go there, to even think about doing that kind of thing. Because if you are Asian or if you have Asian friends, you may know that the culture in those days were very different. The arts weren't even an option. You had to go down a more conventional route. Like I just had to go to uni and get a job like as, in healthcare or as a lawyer or as an accountant or in IT or something along those lines. It wasn't really, become an actress or become a radio DJ or an artist or anything in the arts, dancer. That wasn't really something that my parents wanted for us. And so I guess I didn't allow myself to explore those options. But when I met Ben, he shook my world. And even in those early days, he totally encouraged me and pushed me, and I guess he could see something in me and thought that I belonged in that realm. And before I knew it, we were both doing a show together on that community radio station, and I just went from strength to strength and absolutely loved it. So fast forward to 2024, and he bought me a podcasting mic for my birthday, as I have been talking about starting a podcast for a very long time. And I guess he just thought, what better gift than to give her this bit of hardware to get her going. So this podcast, like I said, is all around inspiration and thinking about what inspires you and trying to achieve your dreams. If there is something that you have said that you really wanted to do, my advice to you is just do it. I'm not trying to imitate the Nike slogan, but literally just do it. We have this friend, and a friend of the family, I should say. And he, for as long as I can remember, he's older, like my parents' age. And for as long as we can both remember, all he has ever done is complain about his job. And I would say he's not alone. So many of us can sit and talk about how awful our jobs are, every aspect of it. But who actually does something about it? And I'm well aware that we're not all in the position to have that privilege to enable us to actually change our careers or start something new. It's a very difficult time out there, and you need to earn money. And I guess when you're in a career, you're in a position, and although it may be awful, it pays the bills, right? But if you can do something on the side, if you can have a side hustle, something that gives you joy, something that gives you a spring in your step. I also have a career, a day job. And although I do find it satisfying most of the time, I'm an occupational therapist, so I assess people for wheelchairs. And of course, that is very satisfying. But I have been doing it for quite a long time now. And it doesn't give me as much joy as this does, as talking, as sharing. And so I guess I have been able to do that now, and I'm doing it on the side. I haven't quit my day job. I'm not earning anything from these podcasts. Maybe one day, but not just yet. So I wanted to have a chat, and I wanted to talk about inspiration. What inspires you, and how can you stop making excuses? Stop being, I can't name that person, but Ben would always say to me, stop being that person 2.0. And he's so right. Every time I would sit doing my job and feeling like, I'm not really feeling very passionate today, I don't feel very excited or motivated, he'd be like, don't be that person, just do what you want to do. And here I am, and I'm really happy, and this is only part one, and I hope I do continue, and I hope you enjoy listening. But whatever it is that you want to do, whatever passions you have, although it can be hard, you may have a young child, or you may be looking after a parent, or you may be unwell yourself, which is so hard when you have any of these things against you to find the energy. Because I mean, energy is the biggest thing, isn't it? After doing your day job, or putting your little ones to bed, or, you know, managing to create a cooked meal for yourself, and having that bit of energy to then be like, right, now what about the things I love? It's hard, right? And it's taken me a long time to get to that place. But I guess wanted to end my podcast on a quote, and I still have so much to say to you, but I feel like now's a good time to bring that quote in, which is, inspiration comes from within yourself. One has to be positive. When you're positive, good things happen. And I think that's a fantastic quote, because yes, Benjamin has inspired me. I think I've equally inspired him over the years, but the person that inspires you, or the thing that inspires you, doesn't make you do anything. You have to be that inspiration. You have to be the positive person. You have to put in the wheels in motion to actually make things happen. So inspire yourself, believe in yourself, be positive, and good things truly will happen. I'm a big believer of that. And I think put it out there, manifest it. Yep, I said it. I'm one of those people. Manifestation, very, very important. And I hope that you feel inspired to do something that you haven't done for a while, whether it's going to the gym, or going online and doing an exercise class, or making that dish that you really wanted to make. Jamaican patties is one of them for me. Really want to make Jamaican patties, and I most definitely will. So the next part of my podcast is all about game changers, things that I am obsessed with. And I'm going to tell you, because my family are a bit sick of me telling them about it. And you may know about it, but if you don't, I feel really blessed to be the one to part this knowledge onto you. And it's called aquafaba, also known as the juice that comes out of a tin can when you open up some chickpeas. Yes, it has a name, that kind of cloudy, pale brown juice. It's called aquafaba, and it is amazing. I am literally obsessed. I've kind of known about this. I think I saw it on a cook show, and it made me think, God, I'm going to do that. But it is literally phenomenal. So I made a dish that had roasted chickpeas on top the other day, and I had this aquafaba left over. So I made meringue. So aquafaba, I think, is very common amongst vegans. So it acts as a egg white substitute. So anything that you would use egg white in, maybe even egg, you could potentially use aquafaba. Obviously, it's not going to be as nutritious as egg whites, but I love it because we eat a lot of eggs in our house. And when I have any recipe that uses an egg white, I feel quite bad for the little yolk. And I know there's loads of yolk recipes, but I'm pretty sure that the yolk is not as nutritious as the white. So then I'm like, well, I'm making something out of this egg yolk just for the sake of it, because I don't want to waste it. So aquafaba, don't throw away your chickpea juice when you use a tin of chickpeas. I literally had added a bit of cream of tartar and granulated sugar and just blended it for at least 20 minutes, and I made meringue. Absolutely phenomenal. I actually have a cooking Instagram page called the Flip Flop Kitchen, where I share all the kind of daily things that I make. I'm the main cook of the house. Ben does cook things. He is sort of into his healthy juices and healthy meals, but I am the main cook of the house. So I created this Instagram page called the Flip Flop Family Kitchen. Really for myself, it's been private up until this point. I'm only going to just sort of start advertising it now and putting it out there for anybody who wants to check it out. But the reason why I did it is because every day when I went to cook, I would think to myself, I'd open the fridge and just stare, like the amount of energy that I was wasting with the fridge open. And I would just stare and think, what on earth am I going to cook today? Like, I've been cooking meals for our family, just Ben and then the kids, for as long as I've been married. That's probably the time I started cooking. So 15 years I've been cooking. And imagine, I can't think of one thing. My mind goes completely blank. And then I tend to ask the fam, like, guys, what do you want to eat today? And I don't get the best answers. So that's why I created this Instagram page as my kind of virtual go-to cookbook, to remind me of the dishes that my family enjoyed, that I found really quick and easy to cook. So check them out. I hope they help you out with some recipes. A lot of them I've obviously taken from things that I've seen or I've seen on television, but they work for us. We really enjoy them. And these aquafaba meringue cookies, is on there and you've got to try it out. Totally obsessed with them. And I think you're going to be too. Moving on to things that really get on my nerves. So this is kind of the ranting section. If you have something you want to rant about, please comment and tell me, and I'm sure I can jump on your ranting bandwagon. It's all about returns. Like, I don't really go into shops a lot. I do mainly my things online. But there is times when I need to go into a store and buy things. And then often that leads to a return. I'm a bit of a returner. But I feel like people just don't do their jobs properly. Like, I had to return something to Boots the other day. And the woman was just, her answer to me was like, yeah, you paid with your Boots Advantage card points, so it's not letting me return it. And that's it. That's what she was going to say to me. So I was like, so now I need to spend like 15, 20 minutes, half an hour of my time calling customer service for quite a nominal return. I just happened to be out and had it with me, so I thought I'd return it. And don't even get me started on Zara. Zara's returns, they kill me. They really do. But maybe I shouldn't be naming retailers actually. But what I'm trying to say is that really irritates me when you're trying to return something and the process is just too long. Like, all our time is precious, all of us. No matter what we do in our day, our time is precious to us. And we don't want to be spending this much time doing returns. So we need this to be streamlined. Rant over. That's all I had to say on the matter. Now for saving you money, people. This is a really savvy tip. Actually, my friend told me about this one. I have been using other versions of this, but this one's pretty good. It's called Jam Donut. Yeah, random name for a money-saving app. But if you download Jam Donut, it's totally free to use, and it's basically instant cashback. And it really is instant. I've used it a few times now, and it's for stuff that I think you were already going to buy. So, for example, let's say you were doing your online shop with your favorite supermarket. Go on there and have a look at if they do cashback for that one, which they probably will. So let's say you're spending £50, for example. You go onto the website, onto your app, and go to the retailer, and you then buy the voucher for £50, the amount that your shop is going to be, and you then get cashback. So let's say it's 10%. That's quite high. You're normally like 2, 3, 4, 5%. So, I mean, sometimes I'm going to Nando's later and that's 8.5%. So I'll definitely be using Jam Donut. But let's say it's 10%. You'll then get £5 cashback, like instantly. And it will just sit in your little pot. And my friend does this. And I think it's a really great thing to do, actually. So she uses it all year round. And then come Christmas time, she goes into her Jam Donut pot. And that's the money that she uses for Christmas presents, which I think is just genius. Because yes, when I have thought about using these things in the past, I've been a bit put off by the small percentages, 2%, 3%. And then I look at how much I'm actually going to save after all the effort. But it is very quick. Like, if you have your card saved on the app, it's super quick. And trust me, like, after doing a few, you might get a little bit addicted because you just see this little sort of pot of money just getting higher and higher, and it is really good. I've loved it, and I'm all about saving money wherever you can, especially on purchases that you're going to make anyway, like a food shop, which is kind of an essential, not even a desirable item. So go forth and save money, people, and do that with my favorite song in your ear. I wanted to tell you what I am really enjoying listening to at the moment. Zach and I kind of have a little boogie in the morning after I listen to my top news on Alexa. I then ask her to play to play Sade. Now, she's a bit old school, but I absolutely love her. And this song is really, really, really like chill and maybe a bit dreary, you might think, when you listen to it, but I love it. It's Sade. It's called By Your Side, and it's from the Lovers Rock album, which is an amazing album. If you've never heard of Sade before, listen to it, especially this tune if you're driving and it's raining. It's like the perfect album to listen to in autumn when it's dark and raining, and you might want to have a little cry. I think crying is really great therapy. Get out whatever it is that is bothering you and listen to By Your Side. That is my song of the day. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Flip Flop Family podcast. You are a phenomenal listener, and if you like what you hear, please make sure you follow us and click the little alarm bell so that you know every time we release a new episode, which is Mondays and Thursdays. I'm Silene, and I'm signing out. Bye.